it's TxStampin Sharon, bringing you a masculine card today. You know, we all need those masculine cards, birthdays, Father's Day, things like that. I think you're gonna love this card. It's really simple. If you've not already subscribed to my channel, you can do so below. After you subscribe, hit that little bell. You'll be notified the next time I upload a video. Let's make this card. Here is my classic card, and I love the simplicity of it. It is from the stamp set called Geared Up Garage, and it is offered as a bundle. It has the framelits to cut out the car and those fun gears. The paper, let me show you the paper, has all different types of patterns. The paper comes 6 by 6, and there's a solid and then patterns. Some of them are, you know, like dark, some of them are bright. So there's just different papers in here. And so I set out to make a card, and you're not going to believe it, but I used the designer series papers on this card. You can't tell, can you? Let me show you what I did. Here's one of the patterns, and I cut out the car with the framelit. Pretty cool, huh? Let me show you the framelits. So there's a ton of them. So this framelit will cut out this car just like that. Woohoo! Because I loved the paper in the sense of how the windows were and the tires were. And I was like, oh, I'll never be able to color that and make it, you know, look that way. So when I figured out that the framelit cut out the paper, ta-da! But I have to tell you something really funny. After I cut out the paper and I went to go flip it over, I was like, oh, that color, which is really like pumpkin pie, but that color reminds me of my first car. So just to play, I did it in copper on the back side, and I cut it out. Now this car that I had, I used to race. I used to drag race in my very younger days. Hey, I used to win. Powder puff, but I won. But that was my car, and that was the color. Isn't it a lovely color? I don't even know what you call it. It's not even school bus yellow. It was a SS 66, a Chevy Chevelle SS. I'm trying to think. Was it a 66? I think it was a 1966 car. It was old. All right, here's the stamp set. Just a little trivia for you about TxStampin Sharon. So this stamp set, even though when you first look at it, you think, oh, it's a Father's Day set. No, there are different sentiments in here. You jumpstart my heart. So for your hubby or your sweetheart, best dad, for your kids to give a card to dad, all geared up to celebrate somebody's birthday. But I liked just the clean, you're a classic. And I thought it went really well with my card. Now, this is also designer series paper. So it was this pattern. So there are kind of like tire tracks on there, but that's the other side. Okay, well that side didn't go with my design. So I just went with the subtle black. And then of course I have missed my copper. So I had to bring out some copper. Let's make this card. So I just realized, because I opened that catalog, my stamp was sitting here on the block, stuck to that catalog. So now I get to try to figure out how to get that off. I'm pointing this out because I call myself the Queen of Boo-Boos, but that was an honest thing to do. So my advice to you is to not lay any paper anywhere near these cling mount stamps, because this is what happens. Let's just hope that we can get our card made for the video, and I will figure out after the video how to get that off. Well, it still sticks, so we're good to go. Phew! I decided, since my car was long, I decided to cut my cardstock this way. This is 4 1/4 by 11, scored and folded at 5 1/2. Going to take my embossing buddy along the bottom, and we're going to ink up with some Versamark. Oh, I cannot believe I did that to that stamp. But you know what? If I did it, you guys might too. So I always like to show you whenever I make a mistake or I mess something up, hopefully it will prevent you from doing the same thing. I'm going to bring in some copper embossing powder. And then we're going to heat set. Copper is just classic. You guys know me and my copper. If you've watched any of my videos, you know how I feel about copper. Here is my DSP that I, cover that up before I make any other mistakes, that I cut. This is 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. We're just going to adhere that to our Whisper White thick cardstock. There we go. I have my Whisper White, and this I cut 3 3/4 by 2 inches, and then I cut my copper 4 inches by 2 1/4 inches. We're just going to adhere this to the copper. We're going to pop the copper up with some dimensionals. I like to really dig my fingernail into the backing of that so that it's easier for me to pop those off. We're going to set that aside for right now. I have my gears that I cut out with the copper, and so they're going to go along here using my silicone mat. I'm just going to add some adhesive. We're going to place that about right there. And it doesn't matter that you can feel some of the adhesive through there because this is going to go over it. Keep in mind, this could be for a Father's Day card. You can change up the sentiment, or you can still keep this card the same design and and stamp the Happy Father's Day on the inside. You know, this can be very versatile. And, you know, we all struggle with manly cards, so this is a good one. See, there's the color of my old car right there. That was so funny when I did that. I was like, oh, that was my old Chevelle. And there you have it. Whoops, one more gear. I cut out one more gear, and I'm going to add it also with a dimensional. And on this card, I put it up here, but I think I'm going to add this one down here just for fun. You can change up. I mean, there's so many gears in this set. You could just put a ton of gears everywhere. All right, if I could ever help you with any of your Stampin' Up! Supply needs, I'd be so honored to do so. If you have a crafty friend that would like this video, why don't you share it with them? Did I surprise you by using the Designer Series paper from my card? You couldn't even tell. It was so subtle, but it was perfect. Thank you so much for watching. Happy stamping, y'all.